All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, March 17th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back, Chuck, Leda, all of our students and members alike inside Cyber Group. Great to see all of us there, and great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube. Folks, we have a lot to talk about, as we typically do, but let's hop right to it because the market's just been continuing to push up, really from where we left off about 24 hours ago, right? We came off the Fed meeting yesterday. And at first, we ended up seeing a big drop. But from there, it ended up bottoming out right around support levels I had lined up. I showed you that. But, where we left off in the afternoon meeting yesterday was simply the fact that I was saying it's all about the reaction that matters more than anything. If a stock breaks below a support, doesn't mean it's totally broken through. What if the stock or asset or index or ETF, like we were following at least with the SPY, what if it breaks under support but slingshots right back up above it and runs, right? Well, that's what we saw on the SPY yesterday. I don't want to freeze up my screen like I did at the end of the afternoon meeting yesterday, but more or less, you could see here on my 5-minute chart as it here shows the SPY has just been continuing to push up, at least heading into 2 o'clock to where it had topped off just before. But I feel like this still could keep pushing up into the after hours, the end of the day, the after hours perhaps, and that would factor in with following a bunch of stocks that move with the market. So what we'll do is just go right from top to bottom in just a moment. So we'll talk about all of these stocks that we'll look to just scan for in a moment. We do have to talk a little bit about crypto at the end of this meeting. We came off the Fed meeting back from Wednesday afternoon, and here we are right now. So I want to do a very similar type of analysis, just with my thoughts ahead now that the reaction is kind of seen. So we'll do that at the end. Also, want to go quick. I want to make sure that I do this afternoon meeting rather quick. I don't know if anyone's a big college basketball head or not, like I am. You got a bunch of college basketball games on. I got a few games I got to keep my eye on here. So, PIK to begin, top percent gainer right now, making higher lows and trying to inch up to burst above this resistance here. Hey, I feel like more than anything, it's pretty exhausted. Prior to today, it was trading about 1.6 million shares on average, which actually isn't terrible, but it's trading 73 plus right now. So for as much as it moved from pre-market dumped off, listen, if it ends up popping by the end of this meeting, then we'll definitely put it on our list. But for right now, we'll pass the PIK stock. Brian in the cyber group room says go Cats, is in University of Arizona Wildcats. That is, I have them winning the whole thing. So hopefully I don't jinx you, Brian. But yeah, we'll keep going here. The MBII stock, at least right now, cheapy but breaking a new high. Hey, I like where it's at in relation to the intraday chart at the highs. Just looks like it wants to keep going. But I want to see what else is out there first. Let's just see what else we got here. I got a couple of cheapies here. We'll kind of skip over those. Now the MULN trade. Unfortunately, this one is not looking as clean now. It ended up, trying to show signs of life just before as it was holding above major level at 250, but it just kind of snapped right back under it and dropped about like 10, 11 cents from there. And again, it's very similar to be said, as I said, on the PIK trade. It's trading so much volume today. And I know, granted, with this one, the last week and a half, it's been trading like 150 million shares minimum. Today it's trading like 400 plus. So you could definitely say this is pretty exhausted. If it does snap back above the 250 level, then I'd be a lot more interested in it. But I want to see what else is out there in the meantime. Perhaps even just some, good old sideless stocks like Neo or AMC that could, potentially move just with the SPY here, as the SPY is beginning to make another little bounce. So I am in one trade. I'll tell you about that one in just a moment. And keep going here for right now. I shouldn't have clicked on ORPH here. The EIGR didn't look terrible, but again, I'd rather find a stock that's just like right near the highs of the day or highs the regular session at least. Little hint: the stock that I'm currently in is at the highs. Not up a whole lot, but up a few pennies on it. Norman asking if it's the EOSE trade. Well, I didn't see EOSE. Let's take a look. I actually just skipped over that here. EOSE at the highs, it's trading about like 4, maybe 5,000 shares per minute. If you look at the order book, if the order book was even thinner, I'd be more of a fan of this trade. I'll come back to it at the end, perhaps. What is this? EOSE. I don't want to forget about it at least here. I'll write it down on the side list. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing really I've been fully committed to so far here heading into this afternoon. So let's just see what else we got. We got the IMPP trade here, familiar name. Chart looks kind of like crap. All right, we got Providence up 6 here with 20.3 left. There we go. All right, let's keep it going. Givo for right now. Hey, Givo's at the highs. Givo's trading like 23,000 shares a minute. But again, look at the order book. It's so liquid, almost too liquid here. So I'll come back to this one also at the end. I'll put this on the side list alongside Norman's EOSE. Givo's a familiar name, at least, that we've called out quite frequently inside the live trading room over the months and years. Uh, but yeah, Root maybe, ROOT. Nah. All right, let's hop on over to the losers list here, folks. Market's up, so there's probably a lot more that's up, 5-10%. So I'm going to need a little help here. And actually, before I even hop on over to the losers list, how about a little breaking update here? MULN actually just snapped back above 250 right now. I have it up on my other monitor I'm looking at here. I got eyes all over the place. I got college basketball. I got Bookmap. I have a whole other TradeStation template that has like 3 or 4 different charts on it. So I just saw the MULN trade begin to squeeze back above the 250. Hey, it's piquing my interest a little bit more now. You know what? I'll put the MULN on our main watch list for right now. We don't have anything on there for the meantime. So this one will at least make the cut. Hopefully it just stays above the major level off 250. All right, let's see what else we got here on the losers list, though, otherwise. And again, if there's anything else that looks good that's up, then type it in the chat board, certainly. RJF on YouTube with a suggestion, which we'll get back to at the end, the PIK, which, we'll take one more look at the end, like we said. BEKE, hey, this was a great short from earlier this morning. I mean, it was on the losers list to begin, but it's not just to say that. The stock was dropping off. It was, trending down off the highs going into the market open. So when a stock is trending down, we're seeing more red on the tape, more sell-off at that point. So the question we always ask here is, what happens if history could repeat itself? Well, it sure did. And from there led to just about like a 2-point drop. From there ended up holding resistance flawlessly here, pretty much off of 13. And from there pulled back. It's more washed up than anything here heading into the afternoon, but definitely keep this BEKE stock on your side list at least. And, it's more of like a level 3 stock maybe, on a more volatile day. You can kind of categorize it level 3 to 4 on a slower day, or, even right now it's kind of slow. Maybe peel it back to like a level 2 or 3 in terms of volatility, but kind of right around there. Good side list stock ultimately here is the BEKE. ZH is shortable. I didn't even realize that. Man, I don't know if it became shortable, if TradeStation had it shortable from the get-go here, but easy to say now. This was a nice little short. It's actually at the lows here, but it's just trading too much volume on the books, so I'm not really too particular about the ZH trade, at least for this afternoon. Billy, not a whole lot happening there. A bunch of ETFs I see here, like Yin. I have the SCO trade ETF. All right, XPEV is at just about 25. It's down over 9%, trying to make a move back up. It's not breaking a new high here, which is pretty interesting. A stock that is breaking a new high right now is NIO, NIO, and I'm long on NIO. I'm in from 1838. So for right now, at least, hey, it's not up or down a whole lot percentage-wise, but it's at the highs, right? And it's trying to make that continued move that we were hopeful to see from yesterday afternoon. So NIO, I'll put back on our watch list. And again, I'm not doing it just because I'm in the damn trade, but hey, it's at the highs. It's a stock that a lot of us otherwise here in this live trading room are pretty familiar with. John says the PIK trade is popping, and I'm just taking a look back at it right now. So, yeah, a little push above that resistance. So for right now, we'll put PIK on our list. Looks better here. From Milton and Charles B inside Cybergroup, TCRT. It's a cheapy here. I mean, hey, it's making a really nice little move here from like 71 up to 76, 77 cents, but I'm going to pass on it. If you're already in the trade, God bless. You're doing really well already. But for this afternoon, I want to keep it above a buck, but otherwise find some stocks that just have better consistency with them. Oftentimes, these cheapies below $1 don't really make a great continued move from where they had popped from initially. PDD BILI with BEKE asks Bobby on YouTube. This kind of looks like crap. I mean, it's a side list stock. It was just off the highs a bit earlier. Not even actually. It was off like a peak, but highs were up here from earlier this morning. It's just really range bound right now, Bobby. The PDD trade BILI dropping off, and BEK we don't have on the list here right now. So I'm going to pass on all three, unfortunately, there, Bobby. If you want to join us, at least, Bobby, inside our live trading room, feel more than free to do so. That goes for all of us live on YouTube right now. All you got to do is just go right down to the yellow banner on the stream below to get yourself started. We provide live access to our live trading room, our call outs, our audio commentary that Fausto and myself do in the morning. I'll be jumping back on the mic later on this afternoon for all of us there, like Milton and Charles and Norman and Kathleen, Phil, Leda, all of us otherwise. And we include access to workshops as well, our famed Traders Talk workshop. We had a great one from Tuesday. So that's actually up on the student portal right now. But again, for all of us otherwise inside the live trading room, I feel like we have a good list. I want to just go through the side list stocks. I do want to jump to Bitcoin here. Just talk a little bit about that here before we wrap up. All right, the EOSC is trying to make that push, looking a little bit better actually from where we left off on it. And then the Givo stock, Givo looks just slower. All right, EOSC, I don't mind. Put that on our main watch list here for this afternoon. And Chuck with a side list stock and HUT HUT. It was just so slow up until right now. So I don't know. I'm not fully convinced on it just yet. PIK with another big pop. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. All right. I mean, that's why we gave it a second look. All we had to wait for it to do is break above this resistance. I was a little skeptical at first, but we came back to it. We said, all right, put it on our list. But before we even finished up, damn, this thing just ripped. Yeah, let's see what happens here now. Someone definitely smashed the buy button to squeeze this well over 4. So perhaps 390 could act as like a backup support level. I see a 10,000, 11,000 share order on the bid at 384. So keep that in mind, but definitely a good follow up here on the PIK. All right, there we go, folks. Let me just jump to a little Bitcoin here, and then we'll kind of finish up. And actually, I did not mention this yesterday afternoon when I did the afternoon meeting, but for all of us live inside Cyber Group, I did text it to you folks inside the chat. And for those that were not there, I just want to show this because I'm truthful with what I say, right? First and foremost, Bitcoin, the whole time I've been kind of saying, we need to make sure that Bitcoin needs to kind of break above and hang above, most importantly, hang above the 500 EMA on the daily chart. That's what this is right here, the orangish line. But ultimately, this range of support or resistance, 40,000 to 40,750, just has been a really strong horizontal price level to follow for breakouts or support or just trends altogether. So really over the last month and a half, it's had a tough time trying to build back up above it. Once it slammed under it here, we expected it to act as resistance, and even from that point it was just really volatile. Broke above it, but ultimately held above moving averages here, the 100 and 200 EMAs. But man, from there it's been taking its time. Well, if it's not going to break any lower, well, perhaps we'll have our chance. And I ended up taking my shot yesterday afternoon. I ended up doing a futures position on Bitcoin, more of a leveraged position. And here's my stamp. So I'm in right now from 39.7. And right now, I have my stop set already on this trade just in case if it begins to peel back quite a bit. But I feel like now at this point, should we begin to see this hold pretty cleanly above, let's say 40,000 and ultimately the 500 EMA, roughly over 40,000, that is, it's like a 40.2. I think that we can get a much bigger squeeze up over time to the point where we, break all-time highs. I don't know. I don't know about that. But here's one thing I am looking for on this rather, well, we'll call it a trade more than anything, right? What I'm doing here is more a trade for right now. But right now, what I'm looking at is a bit of an EMA crossover here, roughly around 48,000, perhaps just a little bit above. But right around there, we have the 100 and 200 crossing over each other. That's pretty strong in the sense of building up a technical resistance or support level. The last time we saw this happen between these lines was right here back in July or heading into early August of last year. Well, at first, it ended up holding this pretty nicely as resistance, and we noted that back in the end of January or early February when we did, one of these videos in the past. But, since, well, it's been building higher lows. It's been beginning to hold above this line that I just snapped here. Well, at this point, let's begin to see a real squeeze up, and I would love to see this begin to make a move closer up towards 47 to 48,000, perhaps even a little bit higher from there. And we'll see. We'll see what happens, folks. I find high correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P market altogether. So, if we happen to see the SPY really begin to peel back over the next week and a half, perhaps even sooner, we'll see. We don't know. I'm just, providing a thought. But should that happen, then I'll be personally way more keen to exit this, leveraged position, anticipating Bitcoin to make a further drop. But, these are the levels I'm looking for here to hold, roughly over 40,000 and 40,200, the 500 EMA. All right, so let's see what happens with that. But for right now, let's see on PIK, it ended up slingshotting right from 490 essentially. Didn't even hit that 480 or 384 iceberg order. But for right now, let's see this begin to even push higher from this point, the PIK trade. We're looking good, folks. I mean, hey, a pretty short but effective watch list here so far. We have PIK, the MULN, the EOSE, and we got NEO. NEO we have on our list here as well. So hopefully a nice clean squeeze up on the SPY taking us into the close, not just for our sake with stocks, but perhaps with Bitcoin altogether as a whole. So for all of us live on YouTube, Facebook Live, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. I'm going to type my email address here in the chat board just to finish up. As always, any questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, feel more than free to send on over an email, josh@c2trading.com. But again, you could always join us live inside the Cyber Group room Monday through Friday. All you got to do is go right down to the link on the yellow banner below. But for Cliff, Norman, Milton, Brian, Leda, all of us otherwise, Donnie included, I look forward to talking to you folks coming up right at 3:30 Eastern. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.